Then we'll move on to the Bolgheri Rosso. Anyone who knows Super Tuscans knows Bolgheri. So we're moving on to Sensi here. Bolgheri is an awesome place, okay? It's a region on the coast of Tuscany. Again, this is where all the rock star winemakers went when they were sick of making Chianti. They were so sick of adhering to the laws of the land and, you know, blending Sangiovese with Canaiolo. She wanted to, sorry, someone's just putting something up. I'll get back to my story when I see what everyone else is drinking. So we've got Becky drinking Shiraz, thank you. Nathan is drinking Riesling. Alan's drinking tea. Okay, well, hopefully you'll have a drink after with us. Maybe. Who else is drinking? Tia is drinking Shiraz. I wonder if they're all Australian. Is everyone drinking Australian? I think so. Well, hopefully you don't mind me doing all these international wines. Oh, Ron. Pinot. Yes, we got someone on the Pinot Noirs. I love that. Thanks, guys. Okay, I better get back to my story. Okay. Sensi Bolgheri Rosso. So Bolgheri is a region on the coast of Tuscany. As I was mentioning earlier, you've got the sea to one side, the mountains to the other. It's where all the rock stars went when they were sick of making Sangiovese blends. They were sick of making Chianti, essentially. They were sick of adhering to all the laws of the land. So the rock stars went down to this region they realized was very much like Bordeaux in style, the clay soils and the terrain and the, you know, where the sea and the mountains were and all that, very much like Bordeaux. So they said, okay, let's start planting Cabernet. Let's start planting Merlot. Let's start playing the way that the French play and see what happens. Ironically, they went to the Bordeaux competitions. So Sassicaia, might ring a bell to some people, went to Bordeaux competitions and won Best Bordeaux in the world, and it's not even from Bordeaux. So this started an uproar in this area of, oh my goodness, where is these wines from? The French got offended. The Italians were really proud of themselves. It was awesome. I can just imagine the conversations. Now, when these wines were made, they were so good, but because they didn't adhere to the appellation control of Italy, these were called table wines. And they were like, how is this a table wine? We can't call this a table wine. Vino de table. That's half French, half Italian, sorry. So they actually started the Indication de Geographica Typica, the IGT appellation, simply because of this region. Bolgheri, because of what the winemakers were doing in this region, which is pretty rock star if you ask me. Now, this region has now moved up to DOC, so I'm not going to say it, but the region controls the grapes. They only allow 1 million, the yields, like they control the yields and all that. So only 1 million bottles are allowed to leave this region every year. Now, if you consider the grandfather of Tuscan wine is Brunello di Montalcino, Brunello, they allow 6 million bottles. So you understand how small the yields in Bolgheri are. They're always a blend of Cabernet and Merlot, Cabernet Merlot blends. They might put a little hint of Sangiovese and stuff in them. But they have to have 1 year in barrel and 1 year in bottle before release. So that's one of the important points about this region as well. So real rockstar region. Again, if there's Australians that are trying to work their way in to Italian wines, this is a great place to start because it's familiar. Cabernet Merlot, we're very familiar with that blend, right? But there is this Tuscan twist to this. There is this sexy elegance to this wine. You can age it forever. This actually comes wrapped in this beautiful packaging. I've taken it off for today, but comes wrapped in beautiful paper. So yeah, this is your start of the Super Tuscans. This region is your start of Super Tuscans. Awesome, awesome region. Highly recommend it. The best pappardelle ragu I've ever eaten has been here. So again, we're still in our lamb roast, okay? We're still in our lamb roast. We've had at least 4 glasses of wine each now, right? We're loving life. Life's good. And we're having Cabernet Merlot. Wow, and straight away, like, boom, Cabernet. You can tell, oh, it's got Cab Franc in it as well, Cab Franc. So straight away, black olives. It's like, ooh, capsicum, black olives, raspberries. It's actually really expressive on the nose. There's a lot of complexity. You've got that meaty character as well with gaminess. I'm sure it's coming from the Merlot. Lots of fresh fruit. But definitely green. I'm getting all that capsicum. What vintage is this? 2016. Okay, cool. Sorry, you can tell I don't look at vintages very often, do you? Do I? Sorry. But it's just interesting. The reason I talk about vintages is because when I start seeing a tertiary character coming through, like a bit of leather or like that gaminess. It's not leather in this, but like that gaminess. I start looking at, it's obviously an older vintage, but if you think about it, 2016 it was harvested, 1 year in barrel, 1 year in bottle before release. Obviously, this is like the freshest vintage. But yeah, really lovely, lovely fresh fruit on the nose. Gosh, I wish you could smell this right now. I wish I had smell-o-vision. Look at the color. Like it's still really purple as well. So what we want to do is age this for probably another year so that it turns more into that ruby red, because purple means it's a very young wine. So it's just not 100% where I'd want it yet. Once it gets that ruby red without that purple around the edges, it would be perfect. Wow, it's delicious. It's got this really nice black pepper character as well. Oh, well, that's very Italian. Ah, that's delicious. As you would expect from Cabernet, super high tannin. And Cab Franc, obviously, super high tannin. All those olive characters coming through, all that beautiful red, black currant fruit coming through, or black fruits coming through. Lots of acid. So tannin, as I mentioned before, for those who haven't seen my previous weeks, acid is what makes your mouth water. Tannin's what dries your mouth out. A lot of Italian wines, like if I close my eyes, I know I'm in Italy when I'm drinking high tannin, high acid. It's a very simple way to know that you're drinking Italian wine. This is a beautiful wine though. Like this is something you could definitely age for another couple of years. It's something that's going to be really attractive to anyone that comes over. It's just super complex. Give it another sip. Yeah, I just want to try it again. Oh, it's got all that beautiful oaky character as well, like all that beautiful vanilla. It's just, that's a beautiful wine. Like if you've never tried Bolgheri Rosso, I mean, it doesn't have to be Sensi's. I highly recommend Sensi. I think he's technically one of the best producers in terms of quality and consistency. And if you want to really know what what the grape's meant to taste like or what the region's meant to taste like, Sensi's nailed it every time. This is a beautiful wine. Cabernet Merlot blend, for those who are interested, definitely goes with your roast lamb. And it's a lot more fuller bodied, a lot more acidity, a lot more tannin than your Pinot. So for people who want something a little bit heavier, a little bit bigger, definitely go with your Bolgheri during our dinner party. But you're going to have to get it past me first. But yeah, beautiful blackberry. Like it's just so much black fruit and stuff. Like it's a really beautiful wine.